Welcome to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire, sitting in for David Pakman today. And might I also say, happy reinstatement week, right? Because coming up at the end of this week, August 13th, isn't that the day that the conspiracy theorists tell us Donald Trump might be reinstated as president? So, I guess we have that to look forward to as well. Of course, Mike Lindell, MyPillow CEO, who David had a wonderful interview with this past week. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. He had originally said August 13th could be the day. He has since kicked the can down the road a little bit. Maybe it's September, he tells us. Maybe it's even after that. Who the heck knows at this point? But one thing is for certain. The Department of Homeland Security is certainly taking all of this very seriously. Late last week, the Department of Homeland Security actually sent out notices to state and local law enforcement offices throughout the country that said this. DHS is providing awareness of reports regarding an increasing but modest level of activity online, calling for violence in response to unsubstantiated claims of fraud related to the 2020 election and the alleged reinstatement of former President Trump. As public visibility of the narrative increases, we are concerned about more calls to violence. Reporting indicates that the timing of these activities may occur during August 2021, although we lack information on specific plots or planned actions. So Homeland Security says right now, and they've been saying this for a couple months, in case you haven't been following that story, listen, we have seen what these individuals are capable of. We saw it on January 6th. When they get worked into a frenzy based on lies and misinformation, we've seen what they're capable of doing. And over the months since January 6th, they have been pushing this conspiracy that somehow, some way, Trump's going to get reinstated. So what happens when that doesn't happen? See, that's what they're worried about, is what happens when the conspiracy theory proves to be totally false, right? Trump is not going to be reinstated as president on August 13th or at any time unless he wins a future election. And that's not reinstatement, that's winning an election. But either way, people are going to be angry. People who have been led to believe these things, we don't know how they're going to react. And that is what Department of Homeland Security is saying. They have seen what they believe to be threats of violence online. However, there's been no specific indication of where, when, how, or even really if it's going to happen. A threat is one thing, an actual plan is a totally different thing, and Homeland Security is just basically telling everybody, be on the ready. And that's a terrifying thought, right? We don't want to have to live our lives with this kind of fear of what's going to happen when the Trump people don't get their way, when these cultists realize that their conspiracy theories are totally false. We shouldn't have to live with that. But unfortunately, right now, this is a reality that far too many of us, well, not far too many, all of us have to accept. Here's another thing, too. And I've talked about this in videos on my other channels, but you also have the judges. Okay, the people hearing the cases, listening to these defendants who were arrested as part of the January 6th Capitol riot. And the judges have flat out told us these individuals learned nothing. These individuals are likely to do this again because the same kind of lies and misinformation that got these people worked up in the first place, they're still out there. And these judges are trained through years and years of experience to recognize what a so-called repeat offender looks like. They look at the psychology, they look at the behavior, they look at mannerisms, for God's sake. And they see it, as they have told us, with some of these individuals. And we've also had at least one judge come out and say, I'm afraid these people are getting off too lightly for what they actually did that day, and therefore will definitely not learn a lesson, and these are people we're going to have to keep watching because they're likely to do it again. And that's what Homeland Security is trying to tell us. Now, nobody wants to live in a police state, trust me. But they're concerned that what happens this weekend when Trump doesn't get reinstated could be very bad for the country.
If you ever feel like you just don't have enough time to read all the books you want to read, you have to check out one of my favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist takes thousands of popular nonfiction books and distills each one down into an ebook or audiobook that you can get through in just 15 minutes, where you're getting all the key takeaways from the book. Just imagine how you'll be able to expand your horizons and knowledge by being able to soak up all of the important insights from 10 different books in an afternoon. Obviously, it's perfect for exposing yourself to a new book you otherwise wouldn't have time for, or you can use it to revisit a book you've already read, or use it to preview a book before you buy the full version and read it. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pacman. I've put the link right underneath this video.